guys in suits with polished grin and practiced empty praise. Yet many never earn their bread through honest working days. They mouth the script, they nod on cue, they bend to unseen hands and sell the latest polished lie as if it were their plans. They do not steer the ship of state, they merely paint the sails, repeating what the masters wrote in whispers, threats and veils. They call it service, call it truth, call duty to the land, but all too often policy is puppeteered by command. A few still bear the calloused mark of labor, grit and strain, who once could grip the helm of power and chart against the rain. Now sidelined in the fading rows, their voices worn and thin, they serve their towns with what remains, while hollow men still grin. Yet through the smoke a newer breed begins to find its name, condemned by polished party tongues and branded into shame. They're called hard right by those who fear the loss of but consent, while common folk just see a will to stand and not relent. They fight to save a battered I once proud in bone and breath, from creeping schemes in velvet gloves that smile the nation's death. A slow agenda dressed as care has tightened every chain and traded hearth and heritage for managed loss and pain. Since iron rule was undercut by cowards soft and pale, the wet and meek unstitched the seams and set the course to fail. The creed survived in altered coats, in blue and scarlet dressed, a single beast with painted heads and one command impressed. They purged the roots, removed the spine, and kept the label bright, till only hollow banners marched and called their left, turn right. They passed the baton hand to hand, same engine, different paint, and drove the UK PLC toward the cliff with every smiling saint. Near bankrupt ran the battered cart, near sold for foreign gold to waiting powers eastward-eyed and impatient, sharp and cold. They almost sealed the final deed, they nearly locked the gate, till one man balked and would not sign the mortgage of the state. He dropped the torch, refused the purse, stepped back from promised gain, and left the eager zealots there to dance beneath the chain. They marched it on with moral void and doctrinaire delight, believing they would rule the heap once they consumed the night. They dream of thrones in ash and debt, of comfort bought by lies, still trusting those who taught deceit to crown their compromise. But masters forged in fraud and greed keep no one safe or warm. They feed on use, discard the spent, and bless the coming storm. legends flee, and exiles cross the foam, not knowing every border bends inside the same vast dome. One prison dressed in many flags, one globe in managed gray. You may check out whenever you please, yet never get away.